Welcome to this video on EVS. We are talking about a new place. Many of you would have been born in the same city where you are now studying. Many of you, your father would have born in the city, but your grandfather would have born elsewhere. Many of you would have born in some other city, but have come to this city because maybe your father or mother is working here. So people are from one city. People's parents are possibly born and brought up in some other city. They had their schooling in some other place. Or sometimes your grandfather used to live elsewhere, but you and your parents are living here. So people go from one place to another. Many times people go in search of work. People go in search of work because they are willingly going, because the work there is available, or employment is more remunerative. Remunerative means giving more salary, or they are able to do some business and make some profit. Sometimes people also go to another place because they are compelled to go. They may not be willing or interested to go. They may not be liking to go in the first place, but they are compelled to go. Many people from the villages work as small-scale farmers or farm help. People work in agriculture-related activities like helping or storing or distributing the agriculture-related products. But today, due to irregular monsoon and the high cost of agriculture, not every farm help is having employment. So people are not able to work in the farm because of mechanization. And because they have been working in the farm all along, they did not have enough education. And because they were only farm helpers, their salary or their income is also not enough for them to start any new business. So they don't have capital to start a business. They don't have knowledge or training or skill to do any other job. So when mechanization is proving them not having any work in villages, they come to cities or towns in search of job. And in cities or town also, because they are not skilled, they do some odd jobs or a part-time job or multiple jobs. For example, in the morning they work in a hotel, in the afternoon they work for a laundry, in the evening they work in the fish market, like that. Sometimes they become rag picker or a junk seller also. People who are not skilled, people who come to another place, people who don't know what to do in the city become rag picker or junk seller also, so that they can give some salary and meet their basic needs of food or clothing. Because they are not trained and skilled, they earn little. And because they earn little, they cannot afford proper shelter, a proper house, or health care, or a nice food or anything. And because they cannot afford a proper shelter or a nice food, they may also have health problems. Now, people come to city many times because of forced migration or forced displacement, and sometimes about voluntary migration. Now, such people do not have a place to live, so they live in slums. Slums are small, unauthorized rooms where people live. So these are not organized, these are not authorized by the government, but people just use some tin sheet to make 3 walls and a roof and live inside. There are many slums in many cities because people live in government's land, because they do not have enough money to either pay the rent and take a house or to buy a house. Now, because there are lots of people living in slums, there may not be electricity, there may not be water connection, there may not be good sewage, so it might be dirty and untidy. There are lots of people there, it is very densely crowded, but everybody there feels lonely, everybody feels alone, everybody feels empty. Now, why this is happening in cities? Because there is neither peace nor silence, which is there in the village life. In a rural village, people live like one large family. They help and support each other. From food to firewood to fodder, everything is available in your own home or in the garden or in the farm. You don't have to pay for everything. But when you come to city and when you live in a slum, for water to drink, you have to pay. You have to pay electricity bill. You have to pay the rent. You have to buy everything. From food to clothes, everything you have to buy. So you need a lot of money. But because of not having enough skills, you are not having a job which pays a lot of money. So, in the village, from food to firewood to fodder, everything comes from your farm. But you are not able to live in a city just like the way you live in your hometown. What is development? People are forced to leave because of development. When you clear out a village to build a factory, when you clear out a village to build a dam, when we clear out a village to build a mine, when we clear out a village to build some quarry, then people are compelled or forced to move. This is called displacement. So what happens when you're building a dam, you build a big wall and you make water stop there. That is, you make one side of the valley a reservoir. So when you build a wall and make water stagnate or collected into a reservoir, the village is there submerged in water, get immersed in water. So the people have to leave. This is a forced displacement. This is the price we pay for development. Without dams, what happens? We will not have water for irrigation. We will not have water in the reservoir. We will not be able to purify this water and send it on pipes to the city. We may not be able to make hydroelectric power. There are lots of negative impact by not having dams. The water in the during rains and monsoons, the water will flood and create a damage to the people. But if you build a dam, the problem is some of the villages will get submerged and people have to move out. Now, people are given alternative land also. So what happens is, in that alternative land, it will be in some other village. That village, the people who are already there may not like these people moving in. When the people newly move to the village, they will get land which is not very fertile, not workable, not on which a farming cannot be done. All those issues are there. The good thing is, the people will get hospitals, people will get access to schools, people will get other facilities for transport, etc. That's a good thing. But the bad thing is, it may not have acceptance and the land they get may not be fit enough for agriculture. So the people try to work there for some time, after that they fail, and then what happens? The people who are displaced and moved by the government from one place to another village because of dams or factories, sell off whatever they got in the new village and then further migrate to cities. And then they get themselves added to the migrated labor force of the cities. This is what happens because of development or because of people moving from rural village to an urban place in search of employment. Thanks for watching this video on ECEVS.